Hey guys, so kind of want to take this time and talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions. I've been having a lot of talks with the kids. I've been talking to a lot of people in general about it. And first, there's a common misconception I don't really like. I've never really been a fan of the New Year's resolution as a whole. I think it's become very commercialized, marketed by the fitness industry, my industry, to promote getting back in the gym and weight loss and exercise, and like it's just kind of become this marketing machine for that, and it's really lost the real essence of it, which is like goal setting and like real like dreams and ambitions, like not just like I want to lose 30 pounds. Like it kind of lost a little bit of the edge of it. So I think more than for the adults and going down that route, I think it's a great mechanism for the kids. I think it's a great tool. It's a tool for both sides. It's a tool for adults, but I think it's a great tool for the kids to teach them all the benefits and the dividends they can get from goal setting all the way through to fulfillment of that goal. And I kind of wanted to go through that a little bit step by step and kind of, let you know what my thoughts are at. But I mean, like I said, I've never really been a fan of the New Year's resolution. I think, as an adult, if you want to make a change in your life and you want to do something different, like act, go, do it. Like if you're sitting there in the middle of November and you're like, man, I want to make a change. I want to lose some weight. I want to get back in the gym. Guess I gotta wait 2 months. Like it's the wrong mentality. Like that's where it's almost like a double-edged sword. You have this side of it where it is a great staple. January 1st, fresh start, new year, clean slate, new me. I'm gonna do this. But the other side of it is like people then kind of wait for that and they don't really take the actions they should at the time they should. They actually use it more as an excuse to push off action than actually take it. So I think with the kids, like starting young, and I'm talking to all the guys. I'm talking as young as the 3 and 4 year olds, the 6, 7, 8 year olds. I'm talking to the teenagers all the way up through 17, 18, and I'm having the same conversation with them, and I'm getting a lot of great results. So the stage one of it is like, the main benefit I find is like, sometimes putting that into words, like asking any of these guys, like, what do you want to accomplish? What are your goals? You start making them think and actually putting that into the world and like, oh, you know what, I want to accomplish this, I want to do that. And sometimes you get little things. I've got a couple kids saying, I want to improve my grades this year, I want to get better at martial arts, I want to get my next belt, I want to run faster. And that's all great stuff. And sometimes you get like big loftier goals, like realizing dreams and ambitions and putting those things out there like, oh, I never thought about it, I'd want to do this, And what I find with that is you can really take that to the next level. So first there's stage one, right? They're acknowledging these things. They're acknowledging that they want to do it and they're putting it out there. There's accountability for that, and there's recognition of an actual goal that they may not have realized until you put it in front of them and pose the question. Then stage two is, okay, well, how you getting there? And now this is a whole different stage. Like this is time management. Like how what's your plan? I've got a couple of cool ones. Shannon, if you're watching this, super impressed, couldn't be prouder. She's only like 11 or 12, and she said that her family is going to Hawaii at the end of the year, and she wants to buy her own ticket, which I think is awesome. Like, what a great goal for a girl that age to have. I said, well, okay, tried to stump her a little bit. I'm like, well, how much does a plane ticket cost? And she's like, 500 to 700, depending on the season. I already looked it up. I was like, yeah, wow, okay. She stumped me right back. And I was like, okay, well, how you getting there? How you getting that kind of money? She said, I've got a bunch of chores I do around the house, and I make about $10 a week. There's 52 weeks in a year. That's $520. I can even take 2 weeks off as vacation. And I was so impressed. Like that, not only was it a goal, it's a worthy one, like to be self-sufficient like that and accountable, and she wants to make her own money and pay for her own ticket. And then there's the other side of it too, where she had a plan. She put a plan in motion and steps to get there. And that's the part where people start to lose it, is they don't really take the steps they need to get to those places. They say a big goal, they say a big thing, and it sounds great, and they're rocking and rolling for a little bit, but the steps aren't in motion, the plan's not written down, so you fall off the wagon that way because you didn't manage your time well. You fall off the wagon, most people, because the other way is that they're not making room for that goal. So I think New Year's has always become about, hey, this is the thing I want to do, and you get super excited and you start doing it, but the fact of the matter is, like, us as people, like, we are using 100% of our time at all times. I'm not saying we're using it well, but we're using it, right? Like, unless you're telling me that there's an hour of the day, every day that you just phase out of existence, like you're utilizing it. Maybe you're sleeping, maybe you're playing video games, you're not using your time well, but it's being used. So you're using 100% of your time. So now you come in January 1st and you're like, I had a couple people say that I want to learn to read better. A couple of kids say they want to work on their reading skills, which is fantastic. And I said, how are you going to get there? They're like, oh, I'm going to start reading more. I'm like, well, where's that time? If you set a goal, even if it was back to, the old school mentality of New Year's and like, I want to lose weight, well, where are you making the time to go to the gym to do that? That's why people fall off in February and March, because they're trying to squeeze it in and they're going at 110, 115%, and overutilizing time they don't really have. So it's less about the goal sometimes and more about how am I going to sacrifice the time from something else to make room for this? And that's what we were talking about with some of the kids, and I was shocked. I was shocked to hear that, they had goals of wanting to read better and work on their math skills and get their grades up. And then on top of that, I said, well, how are you going to make time for that? Where's that coming from? Like, oh, I guess I could read like a half hour a day and I could play video games a little less. I'm like, that's perfect. So now we have a goal. We've put that in motion. We've acknowledged it. We're like, wow, this is something I want to do. We put it out into the world. I put a plan together. How am I going to manage my time? I've sacrificed something to make room for that, right? These are all valuable things. Now we're at the point where, okay, like, now I have to set the track for this goal. So that's another thing too, right? The dedication, the discipline, the focus. I mean, personally, like those are all great martial arts tools. That's definitely things we focus on in class with these guys. So that's where my mentality is a lot like, do you have the discipline and the dedication to follow through on this? And some of that's pure mental, but some of it's about setting the proper short-term and long-term goals in place. It's a totally separate skill set. Like back to the classic, right? If you want to say like, I want to lose 60 pounds, like that's not a realistic goal to just out of the gate, Let's shoot for 10. Set a short-term goal, a month or two, I want to lose 10 pounds. Now you reevaluate at that milestone and you stop and say, okay, like, you know what, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Like, not that I don't want to lose the rest of the weight, but maybe I'm going to shift this goal a little more toward the fitness side of things. I can move better. I want to exercise. I actually want to gain a little muscle mass now too. And like, the rest kind of comes there, but you made a pivot at that point. You didn't just shoot toward a goal that's miles away and out of sight and you can't touch or even see. There's no motivation there. So learning for yourself, having that self-motivation, that self-accountability, and that self-dedication to like, okay, like, well, one of my kids, Harry, Amy, if you're watching this, Harry said he wants to run faster. I said, okay, well, how are you going to do that? And we decided, like, okay, we're going to pick a point down the block, and we're going to time it on his watch and sprint there and sprint back and time it and set himself for the baseline. But what's his short-term goal and what's his long-term goal? Like, he's got to be able to measure that and be like, okay, I sprinted there and back in 10 seconds. Like, can I in a month? Can I get to 8 seconds? Like, can I get to 6 seconds? Like, whatever it happens to be. Thomas wanted to learn to draw better, specifically anime drawings, which I thought was super awesome, like drawing like manga cartoons. And he said his cousin was doing it, and he wanted to start learning it too. And he was drawing some stuff. And I asked him again, what's your plan? He said, I'm watching YouTube tutorials, I'm watching this, that, and that. But there has to be milestones for these guys to be able to put in front of them to like for us, right? Like white belt to black belt, 8-10 years away. But you got yellow belt, you got orange belt, you got your purple belt. You got these short-term goals in front of you that are achievable and give you that satisfaction of achieving a goal. And you're like, you're moving up the ladder. But if you don't see any results until the end line, that's not going to happen either. So there's a whole side of dedication just to that, and teaching the benefits of the short-term, long-term goals. Like, even if the goal never gets achieved, all of these skill sets have great return on the investment, great dividends you're going to find of just like how I proceed through the goal and the skills I'm trying to learn. Maybe I'll be better for next time. But then there's the end of the road. The last step is like, I did it. I made it happen. I fulfilled my goal. Well, now what? I feel great. I feel proud. I feel strong. But I like that feeling. I don't want to stop. What's next? Like, I worked on my reading. Maybe I can write. Do I want to write now? I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe do I want to do poetry? Do I want to write a short story? Like, do I want to write comic books? Like, whatever it is. Like, now I've set a new goal. And that's the benefit of like goal setting and constantly moving and or even pivoting at a short-term goal into something else. Like when you start the process, there's certain things you just can't predict, right? Like life's crazy. You know, who would have thought that like at that point, like, okay, I did this, you know, I worked on my reading skills, but I actually realized that I had a passion for writing. You know, I was working on drawing, but I pivoted and I was like, that was cool, but I actually realized I like painting. Like there's certain things you can't predict. So sometimes like people get stuck in the planning stage for too long too, and they don't act, they don't do. If you don't do, you're never gonna hit that point. If you don't actually decide and physically make an action, you're gonna get stuck in a loop of just planning it out and trying to get the perfect thing together, but like you can't predict what's gonna happen, so you just gotta go for it sometimes. Anyway, so now they're gaining these skill sets, and like right now they're talking about reading and sports and like I wanna run faster or draw, like fun stuff, cool stuff. But like when they get a little older and it's high school, we're prepping for college now. It's college, we're prepping for a job. It's job, we're prepping for the promotion, family choices, things like that. There's a ton that's gonna come up. Those are the real ones that matter, where there's actual like things at stake, and like they're gonna have those skill sets now. They're gonna have done it when they were kids, or stuff that's fun and cool that they're trying to perfect, and now they'll be able to pursue that in the long term when it comes to like these more important choices. So it's just a great skill set to have overall. And honestly, I've been having a blast talking to the guys and hearing some of their stuff. I have one of the littler guys told me he wanted to be a snake charmer. Like, where did that come from? He's like 4 or 5, and he wants to be a snake charmer. Like, some of the crazy stuff I've heard, it's just been fantastic. So I think this is a great chance for, I'll call it a rebranding. That's my goal of this, is like, I don't want New Year's to be commercialized and taken over by the fitness industry and be all about adults trying to get back in the gym. It should be about the kids and teaching them, using this as a tool to teach them like all the stages, right? Define a goal, think about it, be passionate about it, think about what you want. How do you make that a reality? Put a plan into place, time management skills. What are you gonna sacrifice to make room for that? Dedication, focus, work ethic, all of these tools go into place. Setting short-term goals and then long-term goals, the big goal that you want to achieve. Giving enough flexibility to hit a short-term goal and pivot into something else, which is totally fine. That happens all the time. And then eventually, the achieving, the fulfillment of that goal, and saying like, okay, what's next? I don't want to say stagnant. I don't want to plateau. I want to keep moving. That's kind of where my head's at with a lot of stuff. So I want to like rebrand it for that. I'm going to keep talking to kids about it, and I'm going to keep posting you guys with some of the crazy answers I'm getting. But yeah, you know, let me know what you guys think. Throw some comments there. I'd love to get a discussion going, see what you guys think, and you know, maybe there's more videos that come along with this down the line. But for now, that's my rant. Happy New Year, guys, and can't wait to see everyone back in class. Later.